So that's why you throw the ratio out the window. We have to wait until they've either run out of gold or been run out of New York or their office or whatever.
I think they will run out of gold first, Bob, because, I mean, if you look at the numbers, which are all obviously, as you know, skewed, but we have ever-increasing demand. You have mine production at maximum output. There's no new mines coming online. All this leasing of gold, where are they going to get this gold from to make whole on those contracts?
They're not.
Yeah, well, $10,000.
You know, there can't be more than 5,000 ounces left.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on, gentlemen. We've got to take the break. 800-313-9443 if you wish to opine or ask a question.
You're tuned in to the National Intel Report, the Real Talk Radio Show.
Of course, pending in our Senate, passed last week by our vaunted Congress critters in the District of Criminals. Some people refer to them as the Congress, on the hate crime legislation that passed, I would say, comfortably in the House, headed to the Senate. The vote is expected any day now. I was watching for it today. It didn't happen. But the point being, and the reason I wanted to bring this up with Bob Chapman, he's aware of how the New World Order rights work, but they're ramping up their dialectic or lexicon, if you will, to the fusion groups here inside CONUS, continental United States, and there are 37 of them, I believe. A new Homeland Security document that received little attention during last week's swine flu coverage, shockingly enough, lists the alternative media with other radical extremist groups that implies that people who disagree with the mass media's version of events are potential domestic terrorists. The official use-only document entitled Domestic Extremism Lexicon was released on March 26, 2 weeks before the infamous right-wing extremist report that generated so much media around the world in April. Now, and that was Napolitano, apologizing to the Veterans Administration, but nothing has changed, folks. And WorldNet Daily, according to them, the DHS document was almost immediately rescinded, but the groups listed alongside the neo-Nazis, the Aryan prison gangs, the Black Power extremists, again prove that the federal government is targeting American citizens who are merely knowledgeable about their rights and up on current issues of as a potential domestic terrorist to be treated as a threat to law enforcement. Now, going to the PDF file, here's what they say on this intelligence and analyst, their reference aid. And if you drop down here on the second page, second on the list only under explanations, and they have it under U as definitions. First up, a term used to describe extremist groups or individuals who operate overtly and portray themselves as law-abiding. Second explanation in this long list of definitions to go in this informational for official use only, mind you. Alternative media, a term used to describe various information sources that provide a forum for interpretations of events and issues that differ radically from those presented in mass media products and outlets. They're complaining, Bob, that we're not buying into their lexicon and we're not believing anything that the mainstream media is doing, but now we're targeted because we have an alternative media and we're extremists, Bob.
And we tell the truth, and they are terrified, and we're taking them apart. And that's why, last Friday, I think I did 21 programs. I mean, just incredible. And this stuff's going all over the world. And people are reaching us from these different countries and saying, we wondered what was going on and who was doing what to whom, and now we know, keep it up. We've got thousands of people listening. When this thing blows, they're going to have revolutions in every country. And all of these dupes of the Illuminati are going to end up either in jail if, the authorities can get them before the mob does. And they're terrified. This thing is not working out the way that they thought it would. And the very fact that they have exposed this, they're terrified. And we're being very affected. All the people on talk radio who talk about the truth, what's really going on out there. And I get it from everywhere. I mean, I can't book enough time. It's a wonder I can get the publication done because of the demand, for people like me who know what these people are doing, and to explain it to people simply.
In a couple of weeks, I will be going to a little conflab, if you will, and we're going to map out strategy. This is a precursor to the Continental Congress that's going to take place in Philadelphia, and this is going to be one of the last strategy meetings as to what direction we need to take. And I'm impressed by the guest list. I mean, it's the best of the best that's out there, and quite frankly, I'm going to be doing a lot more listening than I am talking, because it's come down to crunch time, Bob. And here is my contention, and I'll just put it neatly in a nutshell. If we do not have enough people out here that are willing to talk to our neighbors, our friends, our relatives, yes, even your relatives that called you a wingnet a couple of years ago, or maybe last night, if we don't have the timidity and the guts to talk to them, well, then you might as well just give up the ghost. But here's the deal. We either inform another 10 Americans, each one of us, and get them on board, because I think there's quite a few of us here in the States, quite a few. But if we do not muster and move in a direction against these people, this is going to come down to a firefight. And this is the one thing that I want to avoid, because unlike 1776, we went against King George. Right now, we've got a draconian thing called the Fed Gov that has totally dismissed us as, well, we're now subjects, but we're to be lorded over. They've thrown out the Constitution. They have absolutely no respect for law whatsoever. It all sounds official and it looks official, but it has no basis in law, and if it doesn't, it's null and void. End of story. But here's the problem. This time, the supply lines are going to be a little bit closer to the enemy. We're not going against the redcoats this time. It could possibly be the United States military. Now, having said that, we need a lot of military people to wake up, smell the coffee, and to pay attention to that oath that they swore. And Bob, I'll tell you what, this is the conversation I'm having with people now. And there's not a whole lot of talking going on. They're all basically saying the same thing. We've got time enough to do and demonstrate that we've tried one more time before the lead starts a-flying. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think you're right. I don't know the timing on it. It's very, very hard to tell. And we just saw that this latest scam that they pulled, which I think was a preemptive effort to test the public as to the reactions to this so-called swine flu epidemic that wasn't an epidemic. And they got the Mexican government to do everything they wanted to do. And, of course, they're run by Illuminists who stole the election, incidentally. And I think the next time around they'll graduate to a stronger strain of something and more martial law intentions, and probably mass inoculation. I think they're into that, and they want to use that. And I think the third one will be very bad. And no inoculation that the public's going to get is going to save them from it, because they don't want to allow that, because they want to get rid of useless eaters anyway. And I think that'll be used as a cover, along with the occupation of Pakistan and the Israeli attack that's coming on against Iran. This is another diversion, and they'll be moving into selective service. They'll get a draft going. They'll draft these 7 million zombies, our young people, boys and girls, who want to be part of this Obama movement. They'll become 90-day wonders at Fort Dix and places like that, and they'll be shoveled over into Iran or Pakistan to fight the turbaned ones, so to speak.